Hello guys, my name is Eric, and along with my group, we are going to use critical thinking elements to discover our answer to our guiding question. Our question explores which financial investment is the best choice for young investors. Intellectually humble as we are, we asked a range of people their views on financial investments. Each of us is intellectually autonomous, so we must fairly weigh each person's opinion. So after taking this into consideration, let's get started.
Around 18. Stocks, CDs, bonds, real estate. Real estate, bonds, CDs, and stocks. Real estate is best for long term, and then stocks would be great for short term. I'd say around $5,000 for stocks, bonds, or CDs, but then real estate you would need a good.
I think the time to start investing would be at a very young age if you have proper leadership from your parents to teach you at least 10 cents on every dollar to save. The earlier the better. I would say as early as you can start understanding the concept would be well, I personally right now invest in a mutual fund, American funds, through my financial advisor. Obviously you have stocks, bonds, and you have the ability to use things such as life insurance to become potential investments down the road. In addition, there's real estate investments. The least risky investment, in my understanding, would be in a mutual fund, or in the housing market, depending on what the housing market looks like. And then from there, moving up, it would be like bonds and stocks. Short-term gains would be the housing market is going to be the best. Potential to buy a house and invest money into it and flip the house. For a long-term investment, it would be like super long-term life insurance. Like I said, becomes an investment. My understanding, once you're beyond 65 or 70 years old, you can then take from that, but you can't touch it until then. The other type of investment that I failed to mention is like obviously Social Security and retirement insurance, which are going to be the long-term investments. I think that the way that I'm looking at investing is to do a percentage of your income. So, you know, the rule, there's the 10% rule, taking 10% of every dollar that you earn and put it into savings. And then 10% of it going into some sort of investment, and then 10% of it to go to charity. My philosophy, it's 70, 10, 10, 10. But as for an amount that you would need, I would consider that you wouldn't need any specific amount, that it could just be whatever you have. You could start saving a small amount of what you have. Right. Now for like a higher end investment, I mean I think it's all relative. Disclosed with the fact that I just revealed so much ignorance and how much I need to learn.
I think when you turn 18, you should probably start investing. I think that's when you start getting your own money. You have a job, and you're on your own, so you can really start having your own responsibility in terms of investing. I like IRAs, you can get into stocks, bonds. I even think life insurance is a type of investment. Obviously that housing, anything like that pretty much is a good thing to invest in. I'd say stocks are probably your most risky. Housing, I would say second, and then like your IRAs, bonds, life insurance, that's the most stable because your money's just going to sit there. You're always going to be guaranteed that amount of money back, if not more. short-term gain, I would definitely say it's stocks. You know, although it's like really risky, so it's really random. Your risk and reward factor, you get a lot more money back in short term, but in terms of long term, you get a lot more money back in your insurance and bonds, stuff like that. I'll say with stocks, if you can get with anything with stocks. So like even $10 is fine. In terms of insurance, you probably want to start with like $40 or $50, and in terms of like IRAs or bonds or something like that, probably $100. Real estate is a little bit bigger. If you could get at least like $2,000, I'd say it'd be safe in real estate.
Welcome back. Now our question at issue is which financial investment is best for young investors. In our first video, we interviewed a speed school student. Our assumptions going into this interview were that he had no knowledge in relation to business. But being fair-minded, we must weigh his ideas as well. The information he gave us was relevant, but it lacked depth, and we are unsure what we can take from him as far as accuracy. Our next interview is with an entrepreneur. As a result of his background in business, we can assume he has knowledge of investments. The information he gave was clear, had great depth, was relevant, and logical. From his knowledge, we can interpret this data and ultimately get accurate answers. The implications from following his point of view would also be good. However, he mentions his own ignorance, and from this we can do better ourselves. The last person we interviewed was a business school student who also works downtown at Northwestern Mutual. We assume he has a high knowledge in investments, so we can follow the information provided by him with good consequences. Taking all of these interviews into account, we have thought through and concluded that stocks are the best type of investment for young investors. They require low entry cost and are good for short-term gain. The higher risk of the stocks are negated by our age and the time we have to recover the loss. We want to thank you all for joining us on our journey to discover new knowledge. Investing is definitely an important part of financial success in life. Starting at a young age can only be beneficial for long-term success. We encourage you to use critical thinking in your everyday life for purposes of being able to better analyze a situation. We appreciate your time and the time you've taken to listen to us, and don't forget to critically think the next time you go out and invest.